Hello everyone and welcome to beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico, the home to Route 66 and the site of tonight's Western Conference showdown between first place New Mexico United and 10th place FC Tulsa. Welcome to the lab. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. And Chris, you can disregard the standings here as we have an in-form FC Tulsa side unbeaten in their last 5, coming on to take on a New Mexico United side who have picked up 7 wins in 10 here at home this season.
Yeah, Tulsa have built that little run on defensive stability, basically, a really tough nut to crack. So New Mexico United are going to have to be on their game going forward to break that down. But New Mexico United looking to bounce back at home after a couple of disappointing results.
Big 3 points hanging in the balance here. Let's dive deeper into this matchup with tonight's players to watch. Brought to you by Toyota. We're going to start off first with the black and yellow. It's Abdi Mohammed, the mid-season acquisition, Chris, former Columbus Crew 2-man. He scored 2 goals this season.
Yeah, Abdi Mohammed, 2 goals back-to-back games as well, so he had a little flourish mid-early season there. Originally a 25-day contract, and that got extended to a full season just based on performances alone. Absolutely flies down that right-hand side. Really important for New Mexico United. And
here for the visitors, it's going to be Stefan Stojanovic. He is their current rostered player, leader in goals scored with 4 so far. We'll get into that a little bit later. The former Philadelphia Union 2-man scored 10 goals for them last season.
Yeah, kind of thrown into the fray after the news yesterday about Goodrum moving to Lou City. And, you know, big body, not exactly prolific so far this season, but he'll bring other guys into the game and will definitely, New Mexico United centre-backs will definitely know they've been in a game by the end today.
This one going to be a ton of fun here tonight. The 2024 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. We'll step aside. We'll be back with lineups and kickoff.
We know it's hard to venture away from our beautiful land of enchantment, but when you need to, we are here for you. Now flying nonstop to 29 destinations across the nation. The Albuquerque International Sunport, the gateway of New Mexico.
Back here at the lab. Tonight's match brought to you by your New Mexico Ford dealers. It is inspiring women's night here at the lab as these two get set to do battle, Chris. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here this evening, presented by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Here for the black and yellow, 6 changes, squad rotation, Chris.
Yeah, the most changes New Mexico United have done all season. And, you know, it's not surprising. Another 3-7 for New Mexico United, including that Sunday, which kind of throws off the routine of the week as well. But freshened up in midfield with Hernandez in there, a little more attacking look in midfield as well, and Jacobo Reyes on the left, and the duo at centre-back back together as well.
This is how the visitors will line up. Just one change. It's Babacar Diallo making the start here tonight as he replaces one Philip Goodrum. We'll get into that in just a moment. It's New Mexico United versus FC Tulsa here at the Lab, as Tulsa are in the center circle ready to get things started. New Mexico, of course, in their home black uniforms of Meow Wolf. FC Tulsa in their patina green tops. Of course, a couple of former New Mexico United men on the FC Tulsa side here this evening. Plenty to talk about here tonight, Chris, but right off the bat, it's going to be an early opportunity here for Tulsa, as it's going to be a corner kick. So you're in the first 20 seconds. That is Diogo Pacheco. So he gives the signal. He sends this in, and it's immediately sent out. But New Mexico not out of the fire just yet. St. Clair played that one in. It's sent out by Gloucester. Now back to Batch. Looking for Pacheco again. Tulsa looking to start quick here, and it's Nanan Hosu able to control possession here for New Mexico United for the first time this evening.
And you can kind of see the way that Tulsa were lined up from the kickoff, that they were going to maybe play into the space behind. And New Mexico United have been a little bit susceptible to that so far this season as well. The ball in behind them, facing their own goal. And yeah, early set piece, and you could see the sun as well was really troubling Tambakis and the defenders, but managed to survive that. It's going to be interesting to see how New Mexico United settle into this now.
Chris Gloucester tried to nutmeg his defender, eventually had the ball taken off of him. Comes back here to Dom. Back to Alexi Sawahi, making his return to the Lab. Sawahi, the former New Mexico United men. He spent the 2022 season here, made 25 appearances for the black and yellow on that back line. Bridging the gap here between these two clubs with a stop in Omaha. He played there last season, 33 appearances. Here come New Mexico. Micheletto over to Hernandez. Back to Micheletto. Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes. And he sneaks it through. 3 minutes in. The black and yellow open up the scoring. And it's Jacobo Reyes.
I don't think anyone expected that. The fans were almost caught off guard. Keeper as well, maybe unsighted, maybe, but Jacobo Reyes, it just kind of opened up from the defenders of Tulsa, just dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. She thought, why not, and just hit it. And it just bounces just in front of the goalkeeper there, so it just makes it a little more difficult for him to keep out. But bottom corner, great strike by Reyes. What a start by New Mexico United.
Second goal of the season for Jacobo Reyes. Let's have another look at this TLC replay. And Chris, nothing fancy to it. He just sticks his boot right through the ball.
Yeah, you just see that just dropping off there. Bourgeois just dropping off, doesn't really step, so doesn't feel the pressure. So again, Reyes just thinks, a little tester early on, maybe doesn't think much of it. And you can see it's just bouncing, just as he's trying to punch the ball away from danger there. And you know, we were probably going to talk about how long it's been since, you know, that Tulsa have been defensively absolutely tremendous recently. So many clean sheets in the last few games. They only conceded one goal in the last 5 games, and they've conceded one in the first 5 minutes here.
Haven't even had the chance to welcome in the crowd here yet, Chris. As this one off to a flying start for the home side. Jacobo Reyes, the Harris, Texas native, on the board for New Mexico. With that, we'd like to welcome everybody watching here this evening on ESPN Plus. As we take a look over on the touchline, that is Eric Quill, as New Mexico United 1 win away from breaking the club record in a single season, currently on 13 wins. They've done that the last 2 seasons So looking to pick up that 14th and set a new club mark here this evening. And here's the more impressive thing, Chris, about looking to break that record. There's still 13 matches left in this season.
I mean, it's interesting that New Mexico United don't seem to be getting the press and the, I don't know if it's the respect, but the noise. I mean, obviously, Lou City, I think I said to you, after the game a week or so ago, that's probably the best team I've seen at the Lab. They were just complete. Yeah. Defensively looked absolutely solid. I just didn't see a way through for New Mexico United, and every time they went forward, just looked so dangerous. And now they've added another player, which again we'll talk about. But New Mexico United are there, and they've been there for a while now. Longest stint that they've had at the top as well, and they just keep grinding out results. That result against Indy 11 can't be understated. Huge pressure on the team because there was a little wobble for them. Looking to
find Pacheco here on the near side, and that ball goes out for a New Mexico United goal kick. And that's going to give us time here for this 5:29 game update, brought to you by the Education Plan. That's New Mexico's state-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com. Yeah, Chris, big second half there for New Mexico on Sunday, which if you look at it, New Mexico played Sunday. Tulsa actually coming in with 2 more days rest as they played Friday night against OC.
Yeah, and that's you. And, the 3 o'clock kickoff as well on the turf has to play into it too.
So look at the opposing touchline. Mario Sanchez is the former Racing Louisville interim head coach. He was also the academy director for Louisville City. And we just keep mentioning Louisville City, and so speaking of Louisville City, there was some news that came out earlier today as that was a hard tackle from Boubacar Diallo. And so an early decision here for our official Sergei Demianchuk, and looks like he's got a card pulled and a little bit of extracurriculars.
I mean, that was a naughty tackle, that one. I think, A.O. Flanagan, he tends to be one of the cooler people. Look at that. That's orange. That's definitely orange. He's a very, very lucky boy, Diallo. If that was later on in the game, I believe that would be red. That was a very, very ugly tackle. The players are asking him to look at the screen of the replay, which obviously the referee won't do there. But yeah, very, very lucky that I think it was so early in the game. And again, you can tell by the reaction of the New Mexico United players, especially Flanagan. He's so calm normally, and he was not happy with that at all. He had the best view of anyone. It looks like Hernandez is back on his feet, which is great news because that could have been so much worse if his foot was planted in the ground.
There's Nicky Hernandez, who took the contact. And so an early 7th-minute yellow card issued. That yellow card brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Let's look at the New Mexico United bench. Sergio Rivas among some of the options there. Talk about somebody who's been in form recently. Sergio Rivas, since coming back from injury, Chris, scored again on the weekend. As Hosu just hits it here at Peñaranda.
I think he just thought, why not? Like, again, Peñaranda, he looks a little nervy maybe in the start. Even there, it wasn't exactly a clean catch, and it just bounced just in front of him again. He did it, though. He did his job there. But Hosu didn't maybe connect with it as well as what he thought. But after seeing Jacobo Reyes' shot just fly in, he thought, why not?
Tulsa looking to get the ball around the New Mexico United 18. Here comes Pacheco again. Pacheco caused a lot of noise in that Friday night match against Orange County, and this is going to bring us to another corner kick. So we have a look at our Garcia Automotive Group keys to the game here for New Mexico. Score first, continue the momentum from Sunday, and shut down rebounds. Corner kick goes in, and it's over the head of everyone, falls to St. Clair. Ball poked away by Hosu. New Mexico looking to break. It's the goal scorer, Jacobo Reyes, leading the charge here. Great ball from Hosu. It finds Flanagan. And Flanagan sends it wide.
Yeah, I mean, it was on Flanagan's weaker right foot there, and also just that part of the field you can see just before he hits it, it just bobbles, so it comes off his shin, but that was an opportunity. Tulsa had thrown a lot of guys forward for that corner there, and New Mexico United able to catch him on the break. What a break by Hosu as well. Again, Reyes just knows just to leave it. That touch then, you'll see it just bobbles just before he hits it. Hits his shin and just goes out of play. Unfortunate. Another great opportunity for New Mexico.
And this very promising for the New Mexico United attack, Chris. This is a stingy Tulsa defense that they're going up against tonight.
Yeah, really stingy, and you could say, with Hernandez in midfield, a little more attack-minded maybe, like Ezekiel Bailey loves sitting just in front of the back four. Well, very much like Hosu does as well. They both break forwards. Mohamed, unfortunate there. He swings so hard, his leg nearly came off. But little chance for break for Tulsa to break here.
Here's Diallo, plays the cross in. It's sent out by Herbert.
But yeah, you can see earlier on that, and in the lineup we were speaking off air before the game, that maybe it was just a little more of an attack-minded, thinking that maybe Tulsa were a little, not necessarily as dangerous going forward and needed a little bit more going forward. And New Mexico United, the last few games, Birmingham Legion, I'm thinking back to, even El Paso, maybe started a little slowly.
So look at the Ben Sherman Law injury report. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help, and one name being added to that list there, Chris. You can see at the bottom, Dayon Harris. It was announced by the club earlier this week. Suffered a torn ACL during training. He is going to be out for the remainder of the season. Yeah,
it's really unfortunate for Harris, and his pace, specifically coming off the bench as well against what he's been doing recently in games. It's just such a big weapon, so that's going to be a big blow for New Mexico.
Gloucester able to connect with Hernandez. Here's Flanagan. Inside the box, Flanagan looking for Hernandez! And unable to redirect that on frame. But New Mexico attacking here through the opening 12 minutes.
Any kind of connection there from Hernandez, I think it's a goal, because Peñaranda, he was just glued to his line, just hoping and praying that he goes wide there, and you can just see he gets a little nick on it, but not quite enough. And Tulsa, for how, again, we've talked how stingy. Actually, that was a great header, to be fair. I didn't realize how much of a good contact Hernandez got on it there. He probably did about as well as he could there, just looking for that bottom corner, and just didn't quite work out. But the chances are there, and this is maybe a little more open than what anyone expected.
Ball just out of reach for Pacheco. But as we were saying earlier, before the yellow card tackle from Diallo, huge news out of the FC Tulsa side. This was maybe, 5 hours prior to kickoff here, Chris, is FC Tulsa announced that Louisville City acquired forward Philip Goodrum after activating the release clause in the player's contract. And Goodrum, in turn, has signed a multi-year contract with Lou City. The transfer fee paid by Lou City under the release clause sets an intra-USL Championship transfer record.
It was interesting, the wording as well from Tulsa as well, where basically they hinted that maybe Lou City had made other offers that weren't quite up to the number that they were looking for, and finally they matched the number that was required. And yeah, that's huge news. And Lou City, already such an attacking force, and just adding more to their ranks.
Free kick coming up here for Tulsa. That's Pacheco. So Micheletto will see yellow after that. So already a couple of yellows shown. Diallo and Micheletto now both in the officials' book. And you got to be careful with Lasso. He did this exact same thing and won goal of the week in week 22. That was 2 weeks ago. It was Goodrum in that scenario who touched it off to him. And he hit an absolute banger into the upper 90. No luck that time as New Mexico were onto it.
It looks like that was maybe mentioned in the scouting report that could be a possibility, because Hosu was out there so quick. He had absolutely no space to get that shot off there. It's just getting a little chippy here. Greg Hurst just gives away another free kick there. There's a little bit of edge the last few minutes, I'd say, especially since that Diallo tackle.
Reyes unsuccessful with the challenge. Sinclair battling with Micheletto. Micheletto has to be careful. He just got a yellow. Foul called against Micheletto. Free kick here for FC Tulsa. 15 minutes in. It was Jacobo Reyes opening up the scoring in the 3rd minute. The crowd starts to fill in here at the lab. Free kick goes in, and Tambakis, unable to keep it out. It's headed in, and it looks to be the former New Mexico United man, Alexi Sawahi, with the equalizer here 16 minutes in.
Towering header by Swahi there, and it just overpowered the defense of New Mexico United. And you see Alex Tambakis at full stretch, did everything he possibly could, but what a well-placed header that was by Swahi. So far in the corner, Tambakis just couldn't do anything with it.
Second goal of the season for the Comoros international, Alexi Sawahi. You see he just climbs the ladder there, it looks like, and heads this one home. And a big-time goal there for FC Tulsa. Had just off the fingertips there of Alex Tambakis.
Yeah, you can just see Maples. He's almost sandwiched between two, one of them being Swahi as well. And just sandwiched between two Tulsa players, so that prevents him from getting a decent jump at it, and that allows Swahi to rise and nod that one home.
For Sawahi, 2 goals on the season. It's the 2nd most he's scored in a single season in his career. Back when he played for Louisville City, 2018, he scored 3 goals that season. There you saw after the goal scored by Sawahi, no celebration, just kind of puts his hands up and runs away. Some nice link-up play for New Mexico. Gloucester now looking for Flanagan on the far side, and that one just out of reach.
Yeah, Gloucester just got that one a little bit wrong. It looked like he was looking for Flanagan, like you said, at the back post, but just overhit it a little bit. You see a little bit of frustration from New Mexico United. See Talon Maples there still. He's still shaking his head in disbelief that, you know, the goal there from Tulsa. So New Mexico United just need to collect their thoughts here.
For Sawahi, that's his 1st goal since April 6th, since he scored against Phoenix Rising. And for Pacheco, that's his 3rd assist of the season. So game on here, Chris.
Yeah, right back to square one, and you know, game restarts, and again, you know, Tulsa, stats-wise, you look over the last few games, you know, 0-0, 1-0, 0-0, another 0-0 in there as well. Just in the last 5 games, weren't expecting necessarily a classic, and 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Again, I feel like this game's maybe a little more open than what anyone was expecting.
Tony Herbert wasn't in the squad on Sunday against Indy. No Kalen Ryden tonight, and so Herbert gets the nod. And this has been the center back pairing that the black and yellow have used the most this season between Tony Herbert and Talon Maples.
Yeah, I mean, it's looked settled, and I think that's a huge platform to build from for any successful team, is to have a settled, you know, defensive partnership, especially centre backs with the goalkeeper. But you know, you talked briefly and mentioned it and alluded to the rotation when you were talking about the teams, the lineups, and it's this time of the year where I'm sure Tulsa included, none of those players on the field are fully fit, in inverted commas. Everyone will be dealing with something. It's now about managing and like you say, the coaches being able to rest players when they need it and rotate players when they need it and know who in their squad is ready to step in.
Throw in here for New Mexico. It's going to give us time to let you know that USL Championship Soccer continues on the ESPN networks in September with a Western Conference matchup of teams fighting to cross the playoff line. Last season's champion Phoenix Rising hosts this FC Tulsa side. That's Friday, September 6th at 11 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN 2. Hurst with the turn. Finds Flanagan. He's shifty. Avion Flanagan goes down and draws the penalty. It was Dom who fouled Flanagan, and New Mexico now with an opportunity to go up during the magic minute, Chris.
Great feat by Flanagan. See, he just gets the ball under control. Little touch with the outside of his left foot. Dom can't help himself. He just dangles a leg and Flanagan just goes over. No choice for the referee but to point at the spot.
Avion Flanagan, I was just saying, he's so shifty, he's so agile. He's able to change directions on a dime. And that time, using his agility to draw the penalty. And as of right now, it's Greg Hurst, the Scotsman, standing at the spot. Big moment here for Greg Hurst. He's gone 6 straight matches at home without a goal. Hasn't scored at home since late May. Looking to change that here. And Greg Hurst has the penalty saved by Peñaranda. And Peñaranda able to proverbially pull one back there for the one he let in just 3 minutes in.
Yeah, that was a poor PK. That little skip, he was trying to get the goalkeeper Peñaranda there to give away which direction he was going. It almost looks like he changes his mind at the last second to open his hips up and go the other direction and go to his right. See there, he just opens it up, maybe trying to disguise it a little too much. Doesn't get it anywhere near the post and doesn't get enough power on it. Peñaranda just reads it the whole way.
Penalties have been something that New Mexico have struggled with this season. Looked like they had figured it out, and another penalty not converted. Coletto on the back of Booth there. As St. Clair sees this one go out. Harvey St. Clair, the Scotsman, the compatriot of Greg Hurst. Here's Flanagan once again. As Pacheco picking him up. This time finds Abdi Mohammed. Back to Flanagan now. Flanagan, it's just over the head of Nicoletto. The offside flag was up anyway.
Flanagan looks like he's in the mood though. He's really shifty, like what you called him earlier on. Yeah, just, you know, defenders surely know he's going to go in on his left foot there, but still able to do it. And by the way, in the build-up to that chance there as well, what a ball by Marco Nicoletto. He pinged the ball about 60 yards, went about 6 foot in the air the entire way, straight onto Flanagan's chest. Absolutely beautiful searching ball.
"24 minutes gone by here at the lab. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst on hand. It's a double match week for the black and yellow. As that ball booted away by Swahi, very close to the head of Jacobo Reyes. Elicited a reaction from the crowd. Here's Stojanovic. He's unable to retain possession. Gloucester looking for Reyes. Reyes now with a goal contribution in his last couple games. Picked up an assist on Sunday on the score sheet here this evening. That's a way to earn yourself some more playing time there, Chris.
Needs to do more. He's got some celebrations as well, huh?
Here's Gloucester. Has that poked away. Huge challenge in front of the New Mexico bench. Gloucester still down.
That looked like it was another quite high tackle as well, and it was late. Gloucester had got off the ball as well. And Gloucester missed a game or two a couple of weeks ago from very, very similar tackle as well. So hopefully it's not the same ankle as well, because he's walking a little gingerly right now.
So it goes back to Bourgeois. Dom. Goal scorer Alexi Sawahi. Here's Batch. Naples will find Alex Tambakis. It's been a good season for Tambakis. Just 1.1 goals allowed on average. As Hernandez goes in with the challenge and deemed to have been unfair. Got a score update here for you in the top left corner. See Memphis and Miami tied up at 1 goal apiece, and then big time showdown later tonight.
Miami game and Memphis game was called partway through the game, right? Because of the weather they're having down in the southeast.
Looks like they might be
Delayed.
back to action.
Yeah,
there was a weather delay earlier, and so it looks like they might be back to action here. Receiving confirmation that they did just resume. So a free kick here for Tulsa. Another opportunity. Opportunity perhaps squandered there.
I mean, after what happened on the last free kick, it would have been. I'm surprised that Pacheco there just didn't decide to just do exactly the same. Just try and find Swar. He put the ball in the mixer, see if they can get the matchups right in the middle of the box again. Because size-wise, it looks like maybe Tulsa have New Mexico United, specifically when they're trying to defend their own 18-yard box.
Hosu connects with Herbert. Hernandez looking for Reyes there. Poked away, now it's Lasso leading the charge. Looking to counter here. It's Tulsa. Hurst not able to connect with Avion Flanagan.
It was just a little too eager to go forward there. Just turned like a split second. Both teams just guilty of just giving the ball away. Maybe a little too eager to go forwards and not recognizing where the numbers are, where the space is, and just trying to force it a little bit. And it turned into a track meet for a moment there. And Tulsa seemed to just want to get their foot on the ball and try and control the game. And New Mexico United seemed like they're quite happy to allow them to do it as well.
Booth goes back to Sawahi, back to Bourgeois. So, Chris, if history is any sort of indicator of how tonight might turn out, these two teams have played 4 times coming into tonight, this being the 5th meeting. So there's a searching ball that goes out. 3 wins for New Mexico, 1 win for FC Tulsa. The previous 4 matches Each of those 4 matches has ended with a final score of 2-1.
Certainly wouldn't bet against that right now, would you?
There's a chance. That's all I'm saying. Last time these two sides faced each other was actually here at the Lab. It was last August 26th. 2-1 win for New Mexico. It was Harry Schwartz, coincidentally, in the 2nd minute, followed by Sergio Rivas in first half stoppage time. Epps was on the score sheet for Tulsa in the 2nd half. And that's how that one ended. What a touch there from Gloucester, but off target. Great ball there from Tony Herbert. Gloucester hits the brakes, finds Micheletto. He too can hit him. Finds the hands of Peñaranda.
Bourgeois there did everything in his power to try and get on the end of that cross there and deflect it. So he certainly thought that maybe Abdi Mohammed was in a more dangerous position than what he actually was, and felt like he had to deal with it and just misjudged it.
Pacheco. Pacheco again. The ball blocked by Flanagan. There's Lasso. Here's St. Clair now looking for the cross. Mohammed gets a touch on it. He's clattered into by his teammate Tony Herbert. Get another look here on this TLC replay. Replays tonight, as always, brought to you by TLC Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Defend your home with TLC service experts. Mohammed looks to be okay as the corner kick goes in, sent away by Nanan Hosu. This will be a throw in here for New Mexico. So 33 minutes gone by here. Chris, what are you seeing between these two sides?
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's almost like, Tulsa have had quite a bit of the ball, but haven't really done a whole lot with it. Clearly they're going to be dangerous from set pieces today, and New Mexico United need to be careful not to give away any silly ones, and it has been a very chippy game, and I think that's affected New Mexico United more than Tulsa in terms of there being no real flow, no real tempo to the game. There's another dangerous situation there. Just struggling to find their rhythm right now, New Mexico.
Maples just clears the danger. It's going to go back to Peñaranda. Peñaranda, the USL Championship July Player of the Month. He has been absolutely stellar, Chris, since taking over as the starting keeper. In fact, the first player in FC Tulsa club history to win the Player of the Month award.
Yeah, I mean, 5 clean sheets. 5 of Tulsa's 6 clean sheets have come from Peñaranda, and he's only played 8 games. Tonight being the 9th, he conceded 3 goals. 3 goals in 8 games so far, so 4 now. And so it's a tough task. So when a team does get that goal ahead, you've really got to value it, and that's maybe a little disappointing for New Mexico United. But the resurgence for Tulsa, you would say you probably don't have to look much further than right at the back there between the sticks. Started off conceding far too many goals early on in the season. Their initial keepers conceding 13 goals in 4 games, unfortunately. So they made a change, and it's certainly been a positive one for them.
Diallo with a shot right at Alex Tambakis there, no problem for the Greek goalkeeper. Tambakis making his 107th league appearance for the black and yellow here tonight. Of course, he is the league's all-time saves leader a title that he claimed just about a month ago now, Chris. Coming into tonight, 592 saves. Reyes looking to chase this ball down. Unsuccessful, so goal kick coming up here for the visitors.
So there's an issue for Dom there. Referee's just asking to step off the field. It looked like he maybe pointed to his eye. I don't know if it's or his nose. I don't know if he's maybe got a bloody nose, or maybe a contact lens has dropped out or something like that. But yeah, there's certainly a problem. It looks like he's heading over to the bench to get some kind of treatment here.
He also does not look to be in any sort of hurry there. It turns into a little bit of a jog, and so we've got a moment to let you know that Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. You can visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Dom has received his treatment. He's already back on for Tulsa. This ball looking for Hurst. Able to head it to Hernandez momentarily. Here's Flanagan. Nicoletto. Just looking to pick out Greg Hurst there in the 18. Hurst able to bring it down. Ball still bouncing around. Down goes Nicoletto. Sergei Demianchuk not interested. Play continues. Here's Diallo now. Tulsa looking to counter, and Tambakis able to scoop that ball up.
That was an awkward tackle, I'd say, by Lazo there. There was a question to be asked. You can sometimes tell by the reactions of other players. Nicoletto looked like he was maybe the only one really asking the question. But again, there was a question to be asked here. You can see the ball's just in the end. Nicoletto's just first to the rebound. After Hurst has this shot, it's parried, and he's just first there, and he just steps across his line, just bodies him away from it.
Errant touch there from Greg Hurst results in a goal kick for FC Tulsa. So a bit of a lull there for a few minutes, but right back to the action this match. Battle between Lazo and Hernandez. Here comes Batch now. Pacheco looking to link up with Diallo. Great defending from Tony Herbert. Here's Hurst. Able to connect with Gloucester. Back to Hurst. Back to Gloucester, and the offside flag is up.
Yeah, you could see it immediately. Just that extra touch. I think it was by Hurst there. Just delayed it just slightly, and that meant that Gloucester was offside when the ball was played. But you can see what Gloucester gives New Mexico United on that left-hand side, just striding forward from left back and so comfortable. And when he was injured, New Mexico United really did miss that.
So early on, Chris, we did our keys to the game for New Mexico, and one of them was score first. They did that. The reason that was one of the keys, New Mexico this season have a record of 10 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses when scoring the opening goal this season. That's a trend that they'll be looking to continue with this match here tonight, Chris. This is the 11th home match They've got 7 wins, a couple of losses, 1 draw, winless in their last 3 here at the Lab.
That's the one right there. That's, you know, for 7 undefeated and then or 7 wins, sorry, and then to go 3 without a win. You know, that tie against Birmingham Legion started it off, and then Las Vegas Lights. That was a bad week for New Mexico United with the Las Vegas Lights and Lou City. What a tough week it was as well. So looking to bounce back, and again, you know, the crowd can be their biggest ally here at the Lab, but it can also be the opposite as well, because they're impatient New Mexico fans. You know, so it's looking for that spark, and it was kind of the same against Indy 11. First half, sloppy, just not right. Let's just say it just wasn't right, you know. And then, but second half, tremendous. It's looking a little clumsy, I'd say, in the first half today as well.
Herbert does well to hold off Stojanovic. Heavy touch there from Gloucester. Nicoletto finds Reyes. What a touch there from Reyes. Hurst, here's Flanagan now, has the overlapping run from Hernandez, decides to hang on to it. Back to Abdi Mohammed, looking for Reyes. This will be a throw-in now for Tulsa.
St. Clair there, I think Reyes was sure that St. Clair was going to get a head on the ball, and then when he completely missed it, it just sails past everyone. You see that Flanagan just trying to cut in on his left foot, but the shot just didn't open up for him. So frustrating, he had to play negative. But I tell you what, Jacobo Reyes has been a bright spark for sure for New Mexico United in this first half. Every time he's touched the ball, it's looked like something could happen.
Reyes, in addition to scoring that 3rd-minute goal mentioned, had the assist on Harry Schwartz's goal on Sunday as well. Reyes making his 9th start of the season here tonight. Was acquired at middle of last summer on loan from Monterrey back in July 14th of 2023. He's appeared for both the U.S. and Mexico at a youth level. Oh, and what a play. That was a great interception there from Diallo, and Nanan Hosu really had no choice.
Yeah, that's another yellow card for Hosu. He's the sacrificial lamb for New Mexico United in that situation there. Like you said, had to make the tackle to stop the break. But it was just careless in possession again there by Mexico United. And yeah, you can see Hosu just took one for the team and just stepped in there, knowing fine well he was probably going to get his yellow.
And that yellow brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. And on Hosu had a 27th minute yellow card on Sunday at Indy. We'll have to see where that puts him on the season. He seems to pile up the yellow cards on a frequent basis. Free kick here for FC Tulsa. Sent away by Hernandez. Here's Dom. Diallo now looking. Free header! Oh, and Tulsa have taken the lead! And once again, it's Alexi Sawahi, the defender with 2 goals against his former club in the first half.
Absolutely wide open at the back post as well. The inquest will begin now. Just really a hopeful ball. It looked like, you know, a high looping ball into the back post there. And this Sawahi looked like he was just wide open, just waited for it and headed it down into the ground, and nothing Tambakis could do. But again, you can see all the questions being asked at the back there. Just sloppy defending.
What a welcome back to the Lab for Alexi Sawahi as we get another look on this TLC replay. Completely unmarked. That's about as easy as they come. And just like that, Sawahi with his second goal of the match. And this quickly is turning into a night that he is never going to forget.
And I mean, what a way to announce, maybe that, it didn't really go his way. I mean, let's not shy away from it. When he was at New Mexico United, he didn't exactly set the world alight. And what better way to put that to bed and prove a point really than he's defended very, very well and popped up with 2 goals. And you could see at the last second there, Chris Gloucester just trying to react at the last second, but he was gesturing that he had more than one player to mark. Maples was gesturing the same as well. So just 6s and 7s at the back post there. And you can see New Mexico United how frustrated they're getting. They're just throwing long balls up to Hurst and hoping for knockdowns, and that's not what they're good at. That's when they're getting the ball in midfield, the quick sharp passing, 1-2 touch. That's when New Mexico United are free flowing and look at their best.
Tulsa looking for a third. Another opportunity, and they have a third as we enter first half stoppage time. This time it's Pacheco, and Tulsa now go up by a score of 3-1.
I mean, I'm at a loss for words for that one. You can just see the energy has absolutely gone from New Mexico United's legs, and it was almost in slow motion. You could see that goal coming about 20 seconds before it happened. And again, it just looks like New Mexico United just don't have an answer. They don't have an answer for the it's not even like Tulsa are tearing them apart either, It's just so sloppy at the back right now.
It's gone from bad to worse here for New Mexico as at halftime looms here at the Lab. And for Pacheco, that's his 4th goal of the season. And he just sneaks it right by Abdi Mohammed and Alex Tambakis. And New Mexico searching for answers.
Yeah, I mean, right there they are. And look how wide open again in the box there. And just slow in transition almost into, once the ball is moved, New Mexico, they look tired. I mean, in all honesty, they look a little tired, look a little jaded, and maybe that Sunday 3 o'clock kickoff has taken a little more out of them than what maybe everyone thought.
So with that goal being scored, we failed to let you know that we're officially into 3 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time, celebrating 30 years of great coffee since '94. Tulsa have come into the Lab, and to pre-Frank Chris, they've come in and taken a huge lead here.
I mean, we've talked about how hard it is to score on Tulsa recently. Now New Mexico United have to put 2 past one of the stingiest defenses over the last month and a half, and they have to put 2 past them just to get a point now.
Looking for Mohammed here.
And it's that home record again, from looking so good with 7 wins on the bounce, then it went a tie, 2 losses. Now, New Mexico United staring down the barrel at another loss at home here. Big halftime coming up for the coaching staff.
And you could kind of feel things turning after the Greg Hurst penalty kick that was saved.
That seems like a lifetime ago. The PK miss to go up 2-1, and how different things could have been. It's I mean, talk about momentum and swings and big moments in games, and that was a huge moment in the game, and you shouldn't forget it.
Reyes now looking to lead the break. New Mexico with the opportunity to pull one back here before the half. Here's Flanagan. Goes back to Hosu. Maples now. Great ball there to Abdi Mohammed, but unable to connect.
I tell you what, there's the halftime whistle, and you can see the New Mexico United substitutes warming up en masse, which probably means, and you've got to expect that there's going to be some changes at halftime here.
First 45 in the books. It's FC Tulsa in the lead by way of an Alexi Sawahi brace, and Pacheco adding on the third in first half stoppage time. Chris, give us your thoughts on that first half, please.
It was really even, really nip and tuck, and then it just went horribly wrong for New Mexico United. 2 goals in 2 minutes, and Tulsa absolutely flying right now. And you got to say, New Mexico United staring down at maybe a third consecutive defeat at home.
A goal and an assist for that man as Diogo Pacheco heads into the locker room. It's halftime. Your score, FC Tulsa 3, New Mexico United 1, presented by First Financial. We'll be back with halftime.
I was born in Farmington, New Mexico, and learned to fish here on the San Juan. Watching the seasons, the bugs, and the trout. Lunker Alley, Simone Canyon, Lower Flats, and Texas Hold'em. This place is world famous, and for good reason.
We know it's hard to venture away from our beautiful land of enchantment, but when you need to, we are here for you. Now flying nonstop to 29 destinations across the nation. The Albuquerque International Sunport, the gateway of New Mexico.
Are you a caregiver of a friend or family member that could use some support? We're here for you. Introducing New Mexicare, a program dedicated to caring for our families. We offer significant financial assistance and comprehensive training to empower both caregivers and older adults to flourish in the comfort of home. To see if you're eligible to enroll in the program, visit newmexicare.org. That's newmexicare.org.
We on three, 1, 2, 3, yeah. I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gonna do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulsa. Bitch said that I be the hottest improved it. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
Back here at the lab, it is halftime between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa, and the visitors have come back despite conceding the first goal. They lead at the break 3-1. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. Plenty to get into here at halftime, so let's just go ahead and jump right into things with a look at the scores and schedule for this weekend. Big matches coming up all around as we see one later this evening between Sacramento Republic and El Paso Locomotive, as New Mexico United keeping an eye there on Sac Republic. They're second in the standings. New Mexico currently first. There you see a couple of other matches coming up later on. You see Birmingham Legion doing battle with Detroit City FC. There we see Memphis putting 5 past Miami. That is a big-time result there for Memphis. And then we look on Saturday, Hartford and Las Vegas. You see Pittsburgh and Switchbacks and Rhode Island taking on Oakland Roots. Oakland traveling all the way to Rhode Island, Chris. I don't think there's a further trip in the USL Championship.
Yeah, that's a brutal trip as well, for sure. So, yeah, it'll be interesting how they manage that one.
Speaking of Oakland, this is a look at the Western Conference standings. We talked about New Mexico in first. There's Sac in second. Oakland currently in third as they're looking to keep pace with the top 2 clubs and potentially host some home playoff matches there in the Bay Area. Memphis rounding out the top 4. Las Vegas, Switchbacks, Orange County. Things getting a little bit bunched up down there towards the playoff line between 7 and 10, Chris.
Yeah, in the West, it's a bit of a mess. Like, there's no one really in, like, blistering form right now. It looks like Las Vegas Lights are probably in the best stretch of anyone right now. But, yeah, it's probably lucky or good for New Mexico United right now, looking at that table, for having that little cushion based on the way that tonight is going right now.
And here for the Eastern Conference, we've already talked about him a couple of times here this evening. Louisville City FC atop the East. 50 points scored. There you see their plus 30 goal differential. And right behind them, Chris, Charleston Battery, albeit 2 more matches played, still 49 points with a plus 29 goal differential. It's them two and everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the league championship, maybe even the President's Trophy at this point as well, is kind of President Cup is done as well. You know, like Lou City, who's going to take that away from them? Looking to maybe take the all-time points record as well this year.
News and notes here from around the league. Oakland will be moving into the historic Oakland Coliseum in 2025. That an absolutely iconic venue. That's going to be really cool to see. Then an announcement that came out yesterday, I believe. It's Lexington Sporting Club announcing that they're going to be joining the ranks of the USL Championship starting next year in their brand new 7,500 seat capacity soccer specific stadium. Can't wait to host them here at the Lab. And then, as we mentioned earlier, FC Tulsa goalkeeper Johan Peñaranda named the Player of the Month for July after recording 3 shutouts in 4 games. He's been spectacular. We've got to see that here tonight with a penalty saved.
Yeah, penalty save. I mean, it was he probably liked it because of how he was probably culpable for the first goal, but obviously made more than amends for it as well with that save.
A look at the Week 22 Team of the Week. There you see a couple of nods to FC Tulsa. Mario Sanchez getting the nod as the Coach of the Week. You also see Edwin Lasso getting the nod in the midfield as well. Before we get out of here, I'd like to tell you about the USL Super League. That's coming up. That is Division 1 Pro Women's Soccer League. That is the highest level of pro soccer in the U.S. It's going to be really cool to check out, bringing soccer to communities that are lacking women's sports. Over 350 professional women's roster spots in the U.S. and the Super League. That going to be kicking off August 17th. So we're just 3 days away from that kicking off in 8 markets. So we'll step aside. We'll be back on the other side of this with some halftime stats and first half highlights.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk past. Everybody never got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The numbers are brilliant here for Phoenix. Can they find their second right there? Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What is the Lasso?
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Halftime here at the Lab between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa. Tyler Ortega alongside Chris Hurst. 3-1 our scoreline. Tulsa with 3 unanswered goals. Let's just go ahead and have a look at how we got there, Chris. We've got our first half highlights coming up, brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. It looked like things were off for New Mexico. 3 minutes in, Jacobo Reyes with this strike.
Yeah, great strike. Just took it so early. Keeper just couldn't get adjusted, and everything looked rosy for New Mexico United. And there's one of Reyes' trademark celebrations. But you know, Tulsa got back into it. Little maple sandwich there, and of course it was New Mexico United ex-player. Rises the highest. You can see how much power he gets in it. Tamagis gets a decent hand to it as well, but it's so far in the corner, just can't get the purchase. And the second goal for Tulsa, and it's that man again, Swahi, back post, wide open. New Mexico United defenders not sure who's marking who. You can see the inquest started immediately, and 2 goals in 2 minutes. And an absolute disaster end to the second half in New Mexico United. And probably not going to score an easier goal there. Pacheco, with his weaker foot, just rolls it into the bottom corner.
And just like that, FC Tulsa go from being down 1-0 to up 3-1. And it's sitting in the driver's seat here in this match. Let's have a look now at our halftime stats. See what the numbers tell us for this one. And, you know, Chris, it looks like this match should be a little bit more even.
It really is. It was a crazy 2 minutes. Right? That's what the difference in the game is right now. Like, you can see possession, everything, right? Like, you know, chances, you'd even say New Mexico United, they had that one by Nicky Hernandez as well. You know, there was other opportunities in that game for New Mexico United. That obviously the PK as well. You know, there was other opportunities for New Mexico United to score, but they didn't take them. Tulsa probably had 4 chances and scored 3.
We'll go ahead and step aside. We have the second half coming up next.
Win on 3, 1, 2, 3.
I told the guy and he told me keep moving. I'm at the show and they told me keep grooving. If it ain't me, tell me who else gon' do it. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it. I'm at the top of my city, I'm Tulsa. Bitch said that I be the hottest improving. Every day I see the fruits of improvement. I'ma just do it. I'ma just do it.
This dance was born here. It became the legacy of my family. 6 hoops, many forms. Eagle, butterfly, water serpent, Mother Earth. When I dance, it brings me home.
Players making their way back onto the pitch in the second half coming up momentarily. Welcome back to the lab. It is Tyler Ortega alongside Chris Hurst. It's a 3-1 lead for FC Tulsa as New Mexico winless in their last 3 matches at home, looking to avoid making that 4 here tonight. But Tulsa with 3 unanswered goals, looking to continue their 5-match unbeaten streak, Chris.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like, you know, that's the way it's going. I mean, based on how that first half ended, again, just a crazy couple of minutes there from New Mexico United. Looks like, as we said, right before the break, right before the half, or right at the end of the first half, sorry. Not surprising seeing a couple of subs. Looks like there's going to be changes for New Mexico United. Not surprising at all. They need an injection of not just energy, but quality as well. You know, it's been lacking, unfortunately, in that first half. It's going to be interesting to see. I think maybe Flanagan is one of the players who's going to be going off. I haven't been able to work out who the other one is yet.
So we'll wait and see here as Eric Quill, as we get a look there. So we're getting some word of the incoming subs. So we're going to be seeing Sergio Rivas and Harry Schwartz both coming on for New Mexico. Making way, it'll be Avion Flanagan and Nicky Hernandez. So also hearing that there's going to be a couple of subs here for Tulsa as well. We're going to see Sebastian Sanchez and Milo Yosef coming on for the visitors. Sanchez, 20 years old, on loan from Louisville City. Second half underway here at the Lab. Naples and Gloucester to draw the free kick. So we know that Boubacar Diallo made way there at half. He picked up a 8th-minute yellow card, questionable challenge.
It was an orange. I think, again, if that was now, anytime after maybe the 20th minute, you know, maybe not. You know, I mean, the rules are the rules. Maybe the referee was on site or whatever, but it was a bad tackle. It was on Nicky Hernandez as well. I'd say it was a yellow plus for sure. But yeah, he's obviously been taken off, maybe, you know, as a precaution because of that yellow card, and Sanchez has just slipped into that number 10 role. So straight swap for swap there, yeah, and Youssef has gone on for Pacheco as well. Pacheco obviously had a great first half, so that's an interesting change. Maybe carrying an injury, or maybe just thinking job is done and a fresh set of legs.
We know how difficult Tulsa are to score against, so perhaps just bolstering their defensive forces, looking to hunker down here for the next 45 minutes. Foul called there on Booth. So Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for New Mexico. Tulsa this season unbeaten when they lead at half. 3 wins, couple of draws. Last time they lost when leading at half, you got to go back to last October. They led 1-0 at half against Indy 11 and dropped that match 2-1. It's going to take more than that from New Mexico here tonight. Schwartz, the substitute who came on. All those substitutes at the half, by the way, brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Positive outcomes for every New Mexican. Here's Reyes. Finds Hurst.
Great to see Harry Schwartz back. Obviously, we saw him, the nasty concussion that he picked up all those weeks ago. It feels like forever that he's been out, and marked his return on Sunday with a goal. But yeah, great to see him back on the pitch.
Micheletto goes back to Mohamed, back to Micheletto. Here's Hosu now. Still Hosu, lays it off. Micheletto was looking for Reyes. Yeah, Harry Schwartz making his 83rd league appearance for the club here tonight. That goal that you speak of on Sunday that Harry Schwartz scored, Chris, that is the first of the season. Here's Micheletto. Shot takes a deflection. Ball still loose. Rivas, one of the other halftime substitutes. It's Micheletto unable to connect with Abdi Mohamed there. Rivas gets it back. Here's Reyes. Looking for Hurst, back post. Ball still bouncing around, and that's Harry Schwartz. He's now scored in back-to-back games, and that's his first goal of the season at the Lab.
Just about to say in the build-up earlier on, that shot by Micheletto, we were directly behind it, and it was travelling, but you can tell the words that have been had at halftime just the energy. It's just, I think someone said after the Indy 11, the first half, about just caring and just showing that they care. And New Mexico United, you can tell the players have come out with an urgency that they've been told that they need to just care at the start of the second half here. And they've got their just rewards. It's been a great start the second half. Well done by Greg Hurst there. The temptation to try and go for goal there must have been really, really strong. And just nods it back into Harry Schwartz. Doesn't have to be the prettiest goal in the world. Right place, right time, great finish.
For Harry Schwartz, his 14th goal in black and yellow since joining the club back in 2021. A fan favorite on and off the pitch, and you can see why with moments like that. Here he is once again. New Mexico say game on right out of the half. Here's Maples. That goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for 30 years.
If I'm the Tulsa coach, I'm wondering what happens in the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of the first half, Reyes has that goal. In the first 5 minutes of the second half, there's Schwartz popped up. So starting halves today specifically seems to be a bit of an issue for them. New Mexico United need to keep this going though.
Offside flag goes up on Abdi Mohammed. You see Harry Schwartz on the score sheet, into the match and onto the score sheet just like that.
Second touch, maybe?
I think you're right. Schwartz making just his second appearance. As you alluded to, that concussion he suffered, Chris, back in late June. Such a big part of this club. Headed away there by Tony Herbert. Foul called. Fans, the USL Super League is kicking off its inaugural Division I Professional Women's Soccer League in August. 8 teams across the country begin play on August 17th, airing exclusively on NBC's Peacock Network. Spent a lot of time watching Peacock over the last few weeks, and at the start of some season starting up. Here's Hurst looking for his 10th goal of the season. He's unable to connect there with some back heels, but as I was saying, Chris, we've got some big-time soccer leagues starting up, which are going to be taking place on Peacock, the Premier League. It's that time of year again. Yeah, and we can't mention the Women's Super League without mentioning, obviously, congratulations to the women's national team picking up the gold. Absolutely. It's a great game, and I know my daughter and her friends love watching it, and it was a bit loud at my house watching that game, but yeah, it was awesome. But getting back to this game, New Mexico United, you can just tell the energy in the press now. It just wasn't there in the first half. Nicoletto initiated the press, Greg Hurst as well, and then eventually Tulsa cough up the ball to Maples, and that's where that chance for Greg Hurst. He was just looking to backheel it for a trailing run. The run just wasn't there, but again, it's all from the energy. That's what the difference is early on in the second half. Here's Schwartz. Goes back to Abdi Mohammed. Just looking for his former Columbus Crew 2 teammates. Marco Micheletto unable to connect there. Here come Tulsa. Batch plays that one forward. He's looking for Milo Yosef. That'll be a throw in here for New Mexico.
Will Seymour getting in on the act in terms of the tempo and just trying to make sure that Tulsa just don't have a second to breathe. Maybe trying to tire them out at altitude here, and ball goes out to play. How quickly can they get it back into play?
Here's Schwartz. Gloucester, who made a run into the middle. Hosu finds Rivas. He also scored on Sunday. The Albuquerque native Sergio Rivas. 64th minute goal. Is that header off target. It was Micheletto that time. We're going to see another change here for FC Tulsa. So it's going to be Blaine Ferry coming on to replace Faisal Batch. So Pacheco, Diallo, and Batch all subbed off here for Mario Sanchez. And that substitution brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation.
A little rejig. It looks like Youssef has moved onto this right-hand side. Sanchez has moved out of the middle and onto that left-hand side. Ferry has moved into the little 10 role just behind the striker for Tulsa. So a little rejig. Obviously not happy with how the second half has started.
10 minutes into the second half. Harry Schwartz on the score sheet in the 50th minute, and that time Tony Herbert had a little something to worry about. Ball still bouncing around. Yosef has that taken away by Gloucester. It's back to square one here for New Mexico. Schwartz with the turn. Looking for the ball over the top there for Hurst. Bourgeois sees that out, but still going to be a throw in here for New Mexico. Schwartz goes down. Another throw in. Here's Stojanovic. He's been pretty quiet this evening, Stefan Stojanovic.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really mentioned his name, right? And I think he normally plays in the 10 role, and he's been, slotted up front with the departure of Goodrum. But yeah, it's been hard for Tulsa to get the ball into his feet. I think for the most part, Naples and Herbert have dealt with them. But yeah, he's struggled to find the game.
And if you're just joining us and perhaps have not heard the news, Chris Hurst did say with the departure of Philip Goodrum, it was announced just hours ago that his buyout clause had been triggered by Louisville City in what is the record transfer fee between two USL Championship clubs. Goodrum off to play in purple now. Obviously not in the side here this evening. Here's Booth, has a go. That was well off target, but despite the absence of Philip Goodrum, Chris, Tulsa having no problem finding the back of the net tonight.
Yeah, and it was one of the centre-backs who did the initial damage, right? Set pieces. We said very early on in the broadcast about them being dangerous from set pieces. You could see it early on. The first two deliveries that it was going to be an issue, and proved to be the point, to be the case, but again, start of the second half, completely different feel to this game. Tulsa really struggling to get any kind of possession, any kind of foothold in the game. It's all New Mexico United. They found one goal, dragged themselves back into the game, make Tulsa a little bit nervy. Tulsa forced to make some changes to try and hold them off, and the changes for New Mexico United, you have to say, have made a big difference. Harry Schwartz has made a huge difference, making things happen on the ball constantly. Can they find that bit of quality to tie it up now?
Well, and with how early Harry Schwartz scored that second goal, there's still a lot of this match left, Chris. 31 minutes and change.
Yeah, and you can see, New Mexico United just valuing the ball. The temptation would be to go, hell for leather the whole second half here, you know, but just being patient in possession as well, trying to pick their moments. What they don't want to do is dawdle and allow Tulsa to get back in their shape, because as we've talked about many times already tonight, they're very, very good and very, very organised defensively. So you have to pull them out of their shape and take chances in the attacking half. You know, 1-2 touch passing, pick them apart.
Reyes finds Gloucester in space. Gloucester's cross, a little too much arch on that one.
There was one very similar in the first half as well. His radar's a little off there, you know. And I'd love to see Chris Gloucester just get at them, go on the dribble. You can see when he's in full flight, he's so hard to defend and has a wicked left foot as well. And again, the balance that he gives New Mexico United was sorely missed when he was out injured.
So you can hear the crowd. They're not booing. They are welcoming on one Daniel Bruce as he comes on to replace Greg Hurst. That is a like-for-like change there up top at the number 9, Chris, where you replace your top scorer with your second top scorer. Great header there from Reyes, and the foul is called. And Demianchuk immediately gets in between Jacobo Reyes and St. Clair.
Demianchuk, he saw Reyes' body language and knew he was immediately not happy. You know, he's clearly unhappy about something. I think it was a little bit of afters there.
So just a word between the two. We get right back to play. I think Reyes felt like there was a high foot there, which we've seen a couple of times already here this evening.
There's been some meaty challenges tonight, that's for sure, and New Mexico United as well. Like,
yep.
You know, both ways. There was Micheletto, I remember in the first half there was a pretty decent collision, and Hernandez was the recipient of one and dished out a couple. So yeah, there's definitely no love lost out on the pitch tonight.
Daniel Bruce, not on the score sheet against Indy, but did pick up an assist on the Sergio Rivas goal. Second assist of the season there for Daniel Bruce. Oh, and what a challenge. Schwartz comes away with it. Schwartz looking for a second, and an absolute thunderbolt. Harry Schwartz, welcome back.
Wow. What a strike that was. Peñaranda just didn't even really move. It's almost like Harry Schwartz. It didn't look like he found like the top corner or anything. He just hit it through the goalkeeper. And again, like we said about 4 minutes ago, Harry Schwartz making things happen. Steps on the ball. Great win. Great press by New Mexico United. Steps onto it. And just absolutely smashes it into the back of the net.
2 goals in 13 minutes for Harry Schwartz. He's now up to 3 on this season. All 3 of those goals coming in the last 2 matches. We're tied up here in the 64th minute.
I can give him enough credit there. He hits it just with a slight outside of his foot, so he's just going away from the keeper as well, and can't do anything. That is just an absolute wonder strike. It doesn't matter if you're the keeper of the month. You're not stopping that.
15th goal in black and yellow for Harry Schwartz since joining the club back in 2021. He's up to 3 on the campaign.
So when we were talking about Tulsa coming into town and what they've been good at recently, who had 3-3 on their mind?
A 6-goal shootout here in the Duke City tonight. I'm sure there's going to be some folks maybe tuning out here in just a moment for that Sacramento and El Paso match, which is slated to start here within, I think, about the next 5 minutes. Here comes New Mexico once again. I would encourage you to keep it right here. Buckle up. These next 25 minutes plus stoppage time are going to be a lot of fun between these two.
It is getting to that stage of the season where you do start maybe having a little glance at other people in the league and see what they're doing. And I'm sure Sacramento knew that New Mexico United were down.
Gloucester. Mohammed able to keep that alive, and it's sent away by Bourgeois.
It'd be interesting Sacramento's mindset if they've heard that New Mexico United have come back as well, because you know they've been trying to chase New Mexico United and hunt them down for, it seems like, forever now, you know, and unable to bridge that gap. So going to El Paso not had a great season.
Peñaranda, the Long Beach, New York native, former Northern Colorado Hailstorm man over the last couple of seasons. New Mexico, they've put 3 past him here tonight. Coming into tonight, Chris, his save percentage was almost 91%.
It's unbelievable. I mean, what a start he's had for Tulsa, and that's what, I mean, you know, I don't mind saying what my prediction was if you want. Before the game started, I thought we were in for a 0-0, you know, and I mean, that shows how much I know. But yeah, and the goals have been, you know, all different as well. And let's not forget, there's a missed PK in there as well. It could have been so much different.
6 goals scored in the 65 minutes played so far, 66 minutes played. This ball headed away by Tony Herbert. Here comes Reyes. He's got Bruce making the run. Hits the brakes. Instead, it's Rivas now. Finds Bruce. Cross goes in from Bruce, and the offside flag is up anyway. Those two looking to pick up where they left off on Sunday in Indy.
And it looks like Jacobo Reyes just maybe struggling a little bit with a little bit of cramp there. I tell you what, special mention to him tonight. I think he's been absolutely tremendous for New Mexico United. Been central to everything positive in the first half, even when things were going wrong. He was the bright spark. In the second half, he's been very good every time he's been on the ball.
So another substitution here for FC Tulsa following the equalizer. Patrick Segrist on to replace Owen Dom. That is essentially a like-for-like change there at the fullback position.
Putting on a fresh set of legs to try and deal with Harry Schwartz at the back there.
Ball headed away there by Talon Maples. Now let's keep an eye on Hurst and Segrist here over the next 23 minutes plus stoppage. That substitution brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation. Positive outcomes for every New Mexican. While we've got a moment, let us tell you that the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. You can catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Foul called. Down went Micheletto, and it's going to be a free kick here for New Mexico from a dangerous position.
Yellow card there for Youssef as well. But look how deep he's having to defend. That's right outside his own 18-yard box. It's an awful tackle as well. Straight through the back of Micheletto. Micheletto, great to see him back up on his feet, because that could have been nasty as well.
Milo Yosef out of Germany, played his college soccer at Marshall. Stands 6'3". A lot of size down there on that FC Tulsa side. So it's going to be Micheletto here for New Mexico. Micheletto, 3 assists this season. That leads the black and yellow. Looking for a 4th. Here's Micheletto. Looking back post. And he did not miss Abdi Mohammed by much.
Yeah, it was on as well. It was almost a little bit like everyone else runs to the front post, and Abdi Mohammed just found a tiny little pocket of space. It was just slightly overhit.
Throwing here for Tulsa. What a back heel there from Reyes. Unable to link up there was Reyes. Throw in here for Tulsa. So New Mexico, Chris, came back against Indy on Sunday. Can they do the same here tonight? Here's Yosef. Errant touch. Speaking of a comeback against Indy on Sunday, New Mexico, they've won 15 points from losing positions in league play this season. That is more than any other team. Looking to add to that total here tonight.
That's unbelievable. I mean, one, if you're a coach, probably the question is, why are you putting yourself in the hole? But in terms of fight back and never say die attitude, that's unbelievable.
There's Mohammed. Down goes Schwartz. Free kick awarded. Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for New Mexico. Micheletto to line it up. It's a pretty good position here for Micheletto, Chris.
He nearly got the last one right with Mohammed dancing in at the back post there.
Micheletto going back post again. Herbert heads it back into the middle. Touched by Maples. And sent away. I believe that was Segrist. Osu able to track it down. Looking for the go-ahead goal here. It's been New Mexico asking most of the questions in this second half. Here comes Bruce. Off the foot of Harry Schwartz, who's already on a hat trick.
I think you're doing a little disservice there. I think it's New Mexico United asking all the questions in the second half. Tulsa really struggling to get out of their own half right now.
Bruce goes back to Mohammed. Here's Rivas. It's the Albuquerque native. Gloucester has space. Here's Reyes now. Reyes was looking for Schwartz. And Harry Schwartz, not off by much. Down goes Jacobo Reyes. I think his night might be done. Actually, just got a little bit of stretching there, but I don't know how much longer Jacobo Reyes is going to last here, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, he's put some miles in, obviously, in the second half. The energy and the pressing. It looks like Kale is getting stripped and ready to come on. Wouldn't be surprised if that's who it's for. You know, obviously, let's say he's been stretching out his calves. Struggling with a little bit of cramp maybe, but what a tremendous game he's had tonight.
Fans in attendance here tonight, having a blast, enjoying this 6-goal shootout between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa. Thanks for joining us. Tyler Ortega alongside Chris Hurst. Down goes Reyes. Pops back up. So we are in fact hearing, Chris, that Reyes will be making way for Miquele Akale here shortly. And as you stated, Jacobo Reyes has really put in a shift here tonight. This very well could be his best performance in a New Mexico United shirt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, let's say he's been that influential.
Gloucester, ball into the box, and Schwartz cannot track it down. Instead, takes down the corner flag as Harry Schwartz. Now it'll be official as Reyes will make way. So a goal, 3rd minute for Jacobo Reyes here tonight after picking up an assist on Sunday. So he's replaced by Miquele Akale.
So Harry Schwartz is just going to switch onto this left-hand side. Queles jumped onto the right-hand side. So Harry Schwartz cutting in on his right foot. Not sure St. Clair is going to be too happy about Schwartz stepping onto his side based on how he started the second half.
There you saw tonight's attendance, 7,015 here at the Lab, witnessing this Western Conference showdown between FC Tulsa and New Mexico United. Tulsa 5 games unbeaten, looking to extend that streak here tonight. Looking to not give up a 3-1 halftime lead. As this man, he has provided all the impact for New Mexico since coming on as a halftime sub. Harry Schwartz, 2 goals in the second half, 13 minutes apart, finding the back of the net in the 50th and 63rd minutes. His first 2 goals scored at home this season. Here's Bruce, looking to flick on for Schwartz. Ball just bouncing around. It's New Mexico coming away with possession. Nicoletto, he's seen a lot of the ball in this second half. Here's Quelle now. Goes back to Abdi. Quelle once again. Hosu floats the ball into the box, and that time no problem for Peñaranda.
They're neat and tidy there. Nicoletto, Quelle. It was Hosu eventually just kind of looped the ball in, and so much height on it, it gave Peñaranda so long to kind of get underneath it and claim it, but really neat and tidy in tight spaces by Nicoletto and Quelle on that right-hand side.
Sanchez. Ferry.
There's that press again, just forced the mistake. Tulsa just careless on the ball. I think this is the most disappointing thing if you're the New Mexico United coaching staff. I don't think Tulsa had to be that good to be 3-1 up in the first half. New Mexico United have just upped it so much. Tulsa were probably about the same sort of level, but New Mexico United come out of the trap so fast in the second half. Tulsa just can't hang with them right now.
Is for New Mexico a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. Hello, crisp, refreshing taste. Hello, Topo Chico hard seltzer. I could be mistaken, but I think this might be first corner kick of the night for the home side. Chris is ball bounces out, falls to Rivas. It's been a number of free kicks. As Nicoletto sends this ball in, falls to Rivas just outside the 18. Plays it back in, headed out by Bourgeois.
See, Tulsa just defending so deep now. Every time they clear the ball, it falls to New Mexico United. Herbert had to be careful on the ball there, though.
Yosef applying the pressure, and luckily for Tony Herbert, Nanan Hosu to the rescue. And Hosu does so well to draw the foul there.
He kind of turned himself into a little bit of a corner there. I think that's what Yosef is laughing at there.
Nicoletto now looking to retain possession. He had Segrist on his back and Stojanovic, and Stojanovic goes in hard there. Tambakis coming out to plead his case to the official.
That was a really awkward landing, was it, Ahmed? I think the first thing that hit the ground was his head, unfortunately. You can see just next to the ball, actually lets it go through. And you can see just how he hits his head on the ground really violently. I hope he's able to get up from that, but he just kind of given up on the ball, just let it run through his legs. Stojanovic bites and just has a swing.
So a yellow card shown to Stefan Stojanovic, brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. So 79th minute. See Talon Maples pleading his case. It sounds like Tambakis also might have seen yellow, and he did.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about, you know, those calls that you've mentioned in previous games as well, where he just raced out of his box to kind of get in the referee's face, and they're just not standing for that this year.
So 80 minutes gone by. Still 3-3 here at the Lab. Bruce battling Bourgeois there. Ball finds Gloucester. New Mexico looking for the go-ahead goal. Hosu was looking to connect with Bruce. Comes back to Akale. Akale, one of the lead playmakers for this New Mexico United side. Second on the team in chances created to Marco Micheletto.
So shifty on the ball, and his first 2-3 steps are so explosive and so quick. He just kind of evades tackles and can get out of tight spaces so quickly. It must be an absolute nightmare to defend.
Quelle playing that one in, looking for Schwartz. Goes back to Peñaranda. Here's Yosef. The German Milo Yosef does well to retain possession. Looking to break now. Here's Ferry. Tambakis watches that sail out for a goal kick. Fans, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Bourgeois battling back there with Daniel Bruce. That is no easy task. As Tambakis races over to grab that and wants to get things started off quickly.
I think that's the first one Bourgeois has actually won since Daniel Bruce stepped onto the field. He's so good, despite Daniel Bruce is not the biggest guy in the world. So good at backing into defenders and just shielding the ball, and he's so strong as well. It must be so frustrating to play against because you just can't nick the ball off him, but in that case he was able to do so.
Pressure coming in on Tambakis, and he is frustrated.
Just getting a little casual. That happened a couple of minutes ago as well, where Naples and Herbert were playing catch in and around their own 6-yard box. Just, like I said, just a little casual on the ball.
St. Clair plays this one in. St. Clair, the former Venezia man. This ball falls to Yosef. Flag stays down. And we're going to see the official pointing handball looks to be the call. And so no goal.
Yeah, Yosef just misjudged it a little bit there, and you can see plucked it out of the air with his hand. Decent little finish afterwards, but there was a little. You could hear the holding of breath around the stadium here.
Nicoletto now will make way for Zico Bailey. Nicoletto was on the ball a lot in this second half, Chris. Just giving Zico Bailey a little bit of a run. A little bit of squad rotation, as we mentioned, coming into tonight's match. 6 changes from Sunday's starting 11 for Eric Quill.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the changes rung again for Saturday's game against Monterrey as well. It's just one of those, it really is a squad game, especially at this time of the season.
Shove in the back there as Tony Herbert goes down, and the foul is called. It was Alex Dalu.
Second half, in terms of, talking about the dominance of New Mexico United in the second half, they're knocking on 70% of possession right now in the second half.
Schwartz finds Rivas. He's got space. Still Rivas. Looking for Mohamed. Mohamed cuts it back. And cannot connect with either Daniel Bruce or Zico Bailey making their runs.
I think if that cross by Mohamed is on the ground, I think it's 4-3. Great ball by Sergio Reyes, just splits the defenders. Looks like he's going to play it wide and just plays a little ball against the grain there. And you can see if he can just roll that ball in between keeper and it's Bourgeois there. I think it's an easy tap in for either of those two players for New Mexico United.
"85 minutes gone by here at the Lab. Is there one more goal left in this game? It's already been 6 scored. Bailey looking for Bruce, and instead it's Alexi Sawahi, former New Mexico man, playing it back to Peñaranda. And Sawahi, we haven't talked about him too much here in this second half, but 2 first-half goals against his former club, 16th minute, 44th minute. It's a night that he will not forget, having made 25 appearances for the Black and Yellow in 2022. Osu goes back to Mohamed. Here's Bailey now. Rivas, 87th minute. Here's Gloucester. The offside flag is up. Chris Gloucester, 18th appearance of the season tonight. Played 90 minutes on Sunday. He is, aside from a couple of injuries this season, Chris Gloucester has really nailed down a spot here in this side.
Yeah, he didn't start the initial games at the start of the season, and then once he got in the team, it's impossible to get him out. Like I say, those injuries, and New Mexico United, you can see that he really missed them, just purely like having a left footer playing at left back. It sounds so simple, but just the balance it gives the team, and it was sorely missed in those games that he was out injured.
Great challenge there from Akale. New Mexico on the break. Here's Quelle, and it rattles off the woodwork. Schwartz has it deflected. Peñaranda able to finally grab it. And what an opportunity for New Mexico.
I think Quelle did a lot right there. I think he faked like he was going to go inside and just drew the defender away there, and then just picked his spot and keeper get a touch. I think the keeper might have got a little touch there and just pushes it onto the bar, and the ball just wouldn't sit down in time for Schwartz, and then a little melee in the middle as well, and then gratefully dives on the ball, and now maybe just allowing his team to gather their thoughts and collect their breath a little bit, because again, it is all New Mexico United now.
That is Christina West, the athletic trainer for FC Tulsa. She's come on to give some treatment to Peñaranda and some of the fans here.
Sympathy.
In attendance, letting their feelings be known. So 89th minute in a 3-3 match. This one's been fun so far, Chris.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, because honestly, first half was just a weird game. It really was just a weird game. It didn't seem like anything was really going on. There was 4 goals in it. There was that crazy 2 minutes. New Mexico United defensively all over the place. And Tulsa took advantage of it. Scored two good goals. Off to a blistering start. Then second half, again, all New Mexico United. Schwartz coming off the bench has made a huge difference. 2 goals already. Second one was an absolute strike as well. And sitting at 3-1 at halftime, you might think that Tulsa would be disappointed with 3-3, but right now, I don't think they're hanging on, but they're certainly not disappointed with a draw at this point. When they reflect, they might be disappointed on how the second half started and how they gave up that 2-goal lead, but right now they really do want to get to the final whistle with this 1 point in the bag.
Well, into the 90th minute we are. We're hearing that there will be 5 minutes of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time, celebrating 30 years of great coffee since '94. And so wasted about another 30 seconds there, did Peñaranda. And time wasting is an art form. Segrist looking to play this forward. Yosef plays it back into the middle. Turning his Booth now. That ball, luckily for Tambakis, goes wide.
Tulsa's first shot of the second half?
Might be. It is not their first shot. They had one back in the... It was off target. It was Harvey St. Clair back in the 82nd minute. So into stoppage time officially. And Tulsa now starting to ask the questions. Offside flag goes up there on Yosef. Can't watch the match? Turn on at SiriusXM FC 157. That's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays 8 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app. Down goes Yosef on the far side. Officials not interested in it. New Mexico play on. Here's Schwartz. Finds Rivas. Rivas now for Bailey. Looking for Muhammad. Heads it back to Quelle. Quelle's shot attempt blocked. Bailey applying some pressure. Tulsa able to get it away. Get a little breathing room. Miscommunication there between Bailey and Schwartz. Peñaranda certainly in no hurry here. Peñaranda, 5 saves here tonight. Made 5 saves on Friday night as well against Orange County. Actually made 7. Might be a couple more in this match for him to make in order for Tulsa to walk out of here with their unbeaten run intact. What a flick. Even better challenge there from Tony Herbert. It looked like Alex Dalu might have been off to the races.
Yeah, it was good recovery there by Herbert. He just got the first bit a little bit wrong, but he's got such long legs. He was able to recover quite quickly.
Goal kick taken quickly here by Tambakis. Time running out here for New Mexico. Gloucester just loses possession and ultimately foul called on St. Clair. Osu looking to pick out Daniel Bruce with that long ball. What do you think about the strategy so far, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just a straight ball in the air into Daniel Bruce. I'm just, especially over his head, I'm just not sure. Centre-backs love those kind of balls, and now that Bourgeois kind of got his wits about him and worked out how to handle Daniel Bruce, it's become a little more comfortable from there. There's another late challenge. Again, there's been a few of those today, but it almost looks like both teams have just kind of ran out of steam a little bit the last few minutes here.
It was Rivas that time drawing the foul. Harvey St. Clair draws the yellow card, brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. So Fiesta Auto free kick coming up here for New Mexico. They're going to leave this to Zico Bailey as Maples getting forward, adding some reinforcements to the New Mexico attack. This ball headed, it's going to go back behind it, the goal of Peñaranda. So for New Mexico, a couple ways you can look at this one, right? Gave up a 1-goal lead, gave up 3 first-half goals, but came back in the second half and potentially walked away with the draw.
Yeah, I mean, 3-1 down, you can't argue. They were out of the game.
Yeah.
Completely out of the game. But again, you mentioned that, was it 15 points, about to be 16 points from losing position, mostly, which again shows great character and the fight back and the leadership as well. It's got to be commended. But the frustrating thing will be why is the team always in those positions to need to come back?
That is the full-time whistle here at the Lab. 6 goals scored as this one ends in a 3-3 draw between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa. Chris, give us your brief thoughts on the match here tonight.
I mean, the saying from Gladiator, are you not entertained? What a game. I mean, you can't argue. I mean, midweek, it's tough with back to school, but 6 goals and a ton of excitement in the game.
That is your play of the match winner, Harry Schwartz, for his goals in his 4th season with New Mexico United. He's also your man of the match, presented by Pepsi. Play of the match brought to you by Vara Winery and Distillery, as Harry Schwartz, a shining star for the black and yellow tonight. We'll step aside. Full time here at the Lab. We'll be back to wrap things up.
We know it's hard to venture away from our beautiful land of enchantment, but when you need to, we are here for you. Now flying nonstop to 29 destinations across the nation. The Albuquerque International Sunport, the gateway of New Mexico.
With more ways to win, whatever game you play, Sandia Resort Casino. Now more than ever. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Back here at the Lab, full time between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa. 3-3 our score as New Mexico United find 2 goals in the second half to even things out. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and have a look at our full-time highlights here between these two sides. A 6-goal shootout. Starting off first, 3 minutes in, Jacobo Reyes.
Yeah, Reyes, great strike. Just decided, just kind of opened up for him. It was Bourgeois just kind of dropped off, so decided to just hit it and caught Peñaranda completely off guard there. And then the Alex Swahi show for the next 2 goals. Former New Mexico United man coming back to haunt his former team. Just rises higher than Maples there and puts it in the bottom corner. Gets great connection on it.
And that was 1 of 2 for Swahi on the night. There's a look at the second as the former United man finding the back of the net in the 16th and 44th minutes. And then this, just 2 minutes later, it was the first minute of second half stoppage time. Pacheco, this time adding a goal to go along with his assist. But then, Chris, the second half came around and the substitute, Harry Schwartz, happened.
And then it became the Harry Schwartz show in the second half. And Greg Hurst there did really well to head that back across goal. Must have wanted to go for goal himself, but saw Schwartz was in a much better position. And just won the ball off Tulsa. And similar to Reyes in the first half, just hits it with the outside of his foot, rising all the time. Keeper can't get anywhere near it. What a strike that was.
Just a look at our full-time stats here. What do the numbers tell you, Chris?
I mean, for how even they were at half-time, New Mexico United certainly possession-wise dominated. And you can see the XG, created some really good chances. I think Tulsa only had 2 shots off target in the second half. Shots look fairly even, but you know what? I mean, on the face of things, 3-3, can't really argue. For New Mexico United being 3-1 down, can't really argue with that. Tulsa are probably happy to get out of here with a 3-3 tie the way the second half went.
And up next for FC Tulsa, they're actually headed on to Memphis. They'll be taking on 901 FC on Saturday. That match at 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain Time. And New Mexico, they're right back here at the Lab taking on Monterey Bay. That match starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time here. Make sure hop on to SeatGeek. Grab your tickets for that. That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. A 3-3 tie between New Mexico United and FC Tulsa for everybody. Part of our team, for our director, Gary Williams, for Chris Hurst on color. My name's Tyler Ortega. We'll see you on Saturday.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
To Micheletto. To Micheletto. Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes. And he sneaks it through. To Micheletto. Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes. And he sneaks it through. 3 minutes in. The black and yellow open up the scoring. And it's Jacobo Reyes.
I don't think anyone expected that. The fans were almost caught off guard. Keeper as well, maybe unsighted, but Jacobo Reyes, it just kind of opened up for him. The defenders of Tulsa just dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. So he thought, why not, and just hit it. And it just bounces just in front of the goalkeeper there. So it just makes it a little more difficult for him to keep out, but bottom corner.
Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes. And he sneaks it through. 3 minutes in. The black and yellow open up the scoring, and it's Jacobo Reyes.
I don't think anyone expected that. The fans were almost caught off guard. Keeper as well, maybe unsighted, maybe, but Jacobo Reyes, it just kind of opened up for him. The defenders of Tulsa just dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. She thought, why not, and just hit it. And it just...
Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes, and he sneaks it through. 3 minutes in, the black and yellow open up the scoring, and it's Jacobo Reyes.
I don't think anyone expected that. The fans were almost caught off guard. Keeper as well, maybe unsighted, maybe, but Jacobo Reyes, it just kind of opened up for him. The defenders of Tulsa just dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. She thought, why not, and just hit it. And it just bounces just in front of the goalkeeper there, so it just makes it a little more difficult for him to keep out.
Reyes now. Jacobo Reyes, and he sneaks it through. 3 minutes in, the black and yellow open up the scoring, and it's Jacobo Reyes.
I don't think anyone expected that. The fans were almost caught off guard. Keeper as well, maybe unsighted, maybe, but Jacobo Reyes, it just kind of opened up for him. The defenders of Tulsa just dropped off and dropped off and dropped off. She thought, why not, and just hit it. And it just bounces just in front of the goalkeeper there, so it just makes it a little more difficult for him to keep out. But bottom corner, great strike by Reyes. What a start by New Mexico United.
Speaking of Louisville City, there was some news that came out earlier today, as that was a hard tackle from Boubacar Diallo. And so an early decision here for our official, Sergei Demianchuk, and looks like he's got a card pulled and a little bit of extracurriculars.
I mean, that was a naughty tackle, that one. I think, you know, Ava Flanagan, he tends to be one of the cooler people. Look at that. That's orange. That's definitely orange. He's a very, very lucky boy, Diallo. If that was later on in the game, I believe that would be red. That was a very, very ugly tackle. The players are asking him to look at the screen of the replay, which obviously the referee won't do there, but yeah.
Speaking of Louisville City, there was some news that came out earlier today, as that was a hard tackle from Boubacar Diallo. And so an early decision here for our official, Sergei Demianchuk, and looks like he's got a card break. It's the goal scorer, Jacobo Reyes, leading the charge here. Great ball from Hosu. It finds Flanagan. And Flanagan sends it wide.
Yeah, I mean, it was
here's Flanagan. Inside the box. Flanagan looking for Hernandez. And on inside the box. Flanagan looking for Hernandez. And this was maybe, 5 hours prior to kickoff here, Chris, as FC Tulsa announced that Louisville City acquired forward Philip Goodrum after activating the release clause. The crowd starts to fill in here at the lab. Free kick goes in, and Tambakis unable to keep it out. It's headed in, and the crowd starts to fill in here at the lab. Free kick goes in, and Tambakis unable to keep it out. It's headed in, and it looks to be the former New Mexico United. The crowd starts to fill in here at the lab. Free kick goes in, and Tambakis unable to keep it out. It's headed in, and it looks to be the crowd starts to fill in here at the lab. Free kick goes in, and Tambakis unable to keep it out. It's headed in, and it looks... It's Flanagan. He's shifty. Avion Flanagan goes down and draws the... And Greg Hurst has the penalty saved by Peñaranda. And Greg Hurst has the penalty saved by Peñaranda. Just looking to pick out Greg Hurst there in the 18. Hurst able to bring it down. Ball still bouncing around. Down goes Micheletto. Just looking to pick out Greg Hurst there in the 18. Hurst able to bring it down. Ball still bouncing around. Down goes Micheletto. Oh, and what a play. That was a great interception there from Diallo, and Nanan Hosu really had no... Diallo now looking, free header, oh, and Tulsa. Diallo now looking, free header, oh, and Tulsa have taken the lead. Diallo now looking, free header, oh, and Tulsa has Alexi Sawahi, the defender with 2 goals. Tulsa looking for a third, another opportunity, and they have a third. As we enter first half stoppage time, this time it's Pacheco, and Tulsa now go up. Tulsa looking for a third, another opportunity, and they have a third. As we enter first half stoppage time, this time it's Pacheco, and Tulsa now go up by a score of 3-1.
When New Mexico United are free flowing and look at their best.
Tulsa looking for a third, another opportunity, and they have a third. As we enter first half stoppage time, this time it's Pacheco, and Tulsa now go up by a score of 3-1.
Mexico United are free flowing and look at their best.
Tulsa looking for a third, another opportunity, and they have a third. As we enter first half stoppage time, this time it's Pacheco, and Tulsa now go up by a score of 3-1. First of the season. Here's Micheletto. Shot takes a deflection. Ball still loose. Reyes, one of the other halftime substitute. First of the season. Here's Micheletto. Shot takes a deflection. Ball still loose. Reyes, one of the other halftime substitute. Here's Reyes. Looking for Hurst, back post. Ball still bouncing around, and that's Harry Schwartz. He's now scored in back-to-back games, and that's his first goal of the season. Here's Reyes. Looking for Hurst, back post. Ball still bouncing around, and that's Harry Schwartz. He's now scored in back-to-back games, and that's his first. Here's Reyes. Looking for Hurst, back post. Ball still bouncing around, and that's Harry Schwartz. He's now scored in back-to-back games, and that's his first. Here's Reyes. Looking for Hurst, back post. Ball still bouncing around, and that's Harry Schwartz. He's now scored in back-to-back games, and that's his. Oh, and what a challenge. Schwartz comes away with it. Schwartz looking for a second, and an absolute thunderbolt. Harry Schwartz, welcome back. Oh, and what a challenge. Schwartz comes away with it. Schwartz looking for a second, and an absolute thunderbolt. Harry Schwartz, welcome back.
Wow. What a strike that was.
What a challenge. Schwartz comes away with it. Schwartz looking for a second, and an absolute thunderbolt. Harry Schwartz, welcome back.
Wow. What a strike that was.
Oh, and what a challenge. Schwartz comes away with it. Schwartz. USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Foul called. Down went Micheletto in possession. He had Segrist on his back and Stojanovic. And Stojanovic goes in hard there. This ball falls to Yosef. Flag stays down. And we're going to see the official pointing handball looks to be the call. And so no goal.
Yeah, Yosef.
This ball falls to Yosef. Flag stays down. And we're going to see the official pointing handball looks to be the call. And so no goal.
Yeah,
great challenge there from Akale. New Mexico on the break. Here's Quelle. And it rattles off the woodwork. Schwartz has it deflected. Peñaranda able to.
Kind of got his wits about him and worked out how to handle Daniel Bruce. It's become a little more comfortable from there. There's another late challenge. Again, there's been a few of those today, but it almost looks like both teams have just kind of ran out of steam a little bit the last few minutes here.
Reyes that time drawing the foul.